session to the Monday, March 28th meeting, regular meeting of Kaufman County Commissioners Court. I believe we have a quorum present, and thank you for being here. Those of you that wish to address the court on an item that is listed on the agenda, there is a form that I believe is attached or is available there on the table. If you are here to address again, an item that is on the agenda, feel free to fill that out. If you would now, let's join in standing, and I've asked Commissioner to give the communication.
Pray with me, please. Father, it's great to be here today, and you spared our lives yet another day. And we pray that the things we do, decisions we make today will be for the benefit of the whole for the county, and that the things we do for the future will also benefit our children and our grandchildren. We thank you for the leaders of this country. We pray that we'll pick those who are coming up who will put you first and our nation's safety and their utmost diligence. We thank you for your Son who died for us and for what he means for each one of us. Thank you again in your Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
I don't have anything on routine correspondence on theme. Initially I had was the report on the city sales tax, and I believe that given that to the commission, I have extra copies of that if anybody would like one. Item number 2 is the consent agenda, and we only have one item on that, and that is to discuss and consider approving the deputation of Matt Hines as the deputy for the Kaufman County Sheriff's Department. Anybody have any questions about that, or do I have a motion to approve? Commissioner Shane makes a motion, Commissioner Phillips seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? I'm going to move item number 4 up to next. That's from Judge Rich, who is here with us this morning to discuss and consider approving a resolution accepting and implementing a veterans court in Kaufman County. Judge Rich has a docket this morning, I think, so I'm sure he would like to get back to that. But thank you for being here, Judge, and tell us what you have on your mind.
So, thank you very much, Judge. I hope you got your packet. I don't know if you've had really a lot of time to go through and take a look at that. But I don't know how aware you are of the fact that there's some veterans courts across the state of Texas that's being proposed over the last few years. There's not that many, but in the North Texas region, we now have what's referred to as the North Texas Region Veterans Court. It was started in Kaufman County, and it was put together kind of the leadership under Judge Roach out there in Kaufman County. And so the Regional Veterans Court currently consists of Colin, Rockwall, Grayson, and Hunt in Kaufman County. Now, it's my understanding at this time it's Colin and Rockwall County that's actually participating in that program. And I'm not sure, but I don't think Grayson and Hunt is involved in that yet. The judges met with Judge Roach here about a month ago, talking about the Veterans Court in Kaufman County to sort of join the Regional Veterans Court, and we've all agreed that that would be a good thing to do. And so I wanted to come by this morning and kind of present that to you and see what you think about that. We think it's a good program. It's a diversion program, and we do have several diversion programs, but this is specifically for veterans. And let me just, inside this document here on the inside page, if you look down on that inside page, it says eligibility criteria. It will tell you there who would be a candidate for the Veterans Court. and it talks about that they have to be a veteran or current member of the United States Armed Forces, including a member of the Reserves, National Guard, or State Guard, that the person or the candidate, potential candidate, would suffer from some sort of brain injury, mental illness, or mental disorder, including post-traumatic stress disorder. And this is the key, that resulted from the offender's military service in a combat zone or other similar hazardous duty area, and that it materially affected the offender's criminal conduct at issue at the time. And so it would have to be related to some sort of brain injury or service-related injury. And those would be the ones that would be a candidate for the Veterans Court. And the reason we do that, I think the mission and the purpose behind this is because of what veterans has done for us in this country, the fact of their service, and that they put their life on the line to protect us. And we have virgin courts, which seems like everyone except the veterans. And I think it's an important program. It's an intensive program. In fact, I want to go over just briefly. First of all, the team, the treatment plan on the team, if somebody's charged with a criminal offense, they have to have at least one criminal offense pending. And anybody can refer this individual into the program. But typically, it would probably be, once the offense is charged, it would be up to Judge Roach and the team to come together and say, this candidate or this person is a candidate for this program. The team members would consist of Judge Roach from Collin County, from the District Attorney's Office here in Kaufman County, would be Phil Williams. And by the way, the District Attorney is really the gatekeeper of this program. They really make the determination of whether or not the crime that this veteran is involved in would really move forward into the Veterans Court program, along with the other ones, but they really have a say-so on it. They're sort of the gatekeeper. They're allowed complete discretion on that. There's a defense attorney involved. Either they can hire their defense attorney or there can be one appointed to them, just as usual, but they're to protect their constitutional rights and also try to seek some treatment for them. And of course, all of this is going to have to be done with the consent of the individual that is making the application or being brought into the program as a possible candidate. There's a Veterans Justice Outreach Specialist, which is Judge Roach's staff out of Collin County. There's a County Veterans Service Officer, which would be Mr. Kelly back here would be involved in it. And then there's someone from the jail, and I have the name of Captain Boyd Compton, that would be the jail representative involved in this. And then the program manager is Jennifer Smith, which is Judge Roach over in Collin County, his court coordinator, but she's the program manager for the whole regional area. And then there's a peer mentoring coordinator who is provided also by Judge Roach's staff. Now let me just real quickly say, if they fill out the application, they submit the information, they are a candidate and they get into the program, there's actually 3 phases. Phase 1, and it's in your materials there, it's sort of a phase orientation assessment program that they go through. And by the way, this program, once they're in it, lasts anywhere from 6 to 24 months, depending on the individual. So the North Texas Regional Court was certified in 2014. So some of those individuals that are in there right now haven't even had the opportunity to complete the program yet. And so we really don't have any statistics as far as the success rate. But I can tell you, talking to Judge Roach and in our meeting with the other judges, that this is a pretty intense program. I mean, there can be sanctions almost immediately if they're not doing what they're doing. And of course, there's also incentives as they move along too. The whole purpose is to try to make their military record, I guess, equate with their civilian record is what we're looking at. And anyway, there's the first phase, which is the orientation and assessment. And then there's the second phase, which is the treatment and recovery, which can last for quite some time. And then there's something called the reintegration process, which allows them to sort of reintegrate back into the community. The program, the team gets together and talks about the individual, the candidate, reviews the application and so forth, and makes a determination of whether this person actually fits and can be in the program. Someone who has been dishonorably discharged from service is not a candidate for the program. So, that's kind of sort of the nuts and bolts of it, if you will. But like I say, there's some incentives and some sanctions that can occur. Judge Roach is more like, he would be coming down one Friday each month to sit up in my court and do the Veterans Court. If he cannot attend, I think the delegated me to sit on that court. But he would review and see how they're going. The treatment team would all meet up there. They would talk before the candidate comes in to see how they're doing. So it's sort of like some other diversion programs, but they really try to utilize the Veterans Administration's resources that they have available. And probably what you're interested in is how much does it cost. And it's about $400 to $750 per candidate, depending on their income, but they pay that upfront fee. All the resources and the treatment and everything is paid for by the Veterans Administration. So I think it's a good program. I think, at least in my opinion, it's the least we owe these men and women who served and fought for us, and even, quite frankly, allows us to be here this morning today. I think it's the least we can do. I think it would be a good program, and I'd like to see it happen in Kaufman County. Any questions? There's a lot of information in the packet, and I did that in about 3-4 minutes, so if you have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer some.
I don't have a question, but I've got a compliment and Gibson, that you have all you judges are on board along with the DA, and I think that's the way to start the program off, so I appreciate that.
Well, okay, thanks for the comment. We got together, and I don't think there's anybody that has made a comment said about it, or that was necessary. It's certainly worth the effort to try, at least I believe. And so, especially since it's not going to cost the county anything, other than the use of the room upstairs once a month.
I'd like to commend you for taking this over the spirit of this. I think it's great.
Well, I appreciate that. I would like to take credit for that, but however, Judge Wiley's actually, I think, the first one that got involved in it, so but I do appreciate that, and I'm glad to be part of it, but I did not initiate. I've always wanted, since I was to start Veterans Court, but Judge Wiley got to jump on me over there, and that's fine. She deserves the credit, and I think it's something to be something good for Kaufman County. The interesting thing about it is, the question that came to my mind when I had thought about Veterans Court is how many veterans do we really see come through Kaufman County criminal justice system? And Daniel and I was talking about that, and we're not real sure, but there are some statistics that the jail has provided that over, I think it was 2015 and early 16, about a 3 or 4 month period, there was about 50 to 75 veterans that came through the jail. I don't know, Chief may be able to say more about that.
Yes, so that is data we have to collect now for jail commission, and that they're true good numbers.
Yeah, so.
Is it 50 or 75, or do you have?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but whatever data he has is correct.
Well, I was talking to Daniel earlier, the probation officer, chief probation officer, and he indicated he thought it was somewhere between 50 to 75. And we're basing that on the meeting that we had with the judges back about a month ago, so I don't remember exactly what that figure is. But there are a number of them that come through the jail system. And I think I had provided a resolution on the side. Just to approve that. Any other questions?
Anybody have any questions for Judge Kaufman? I'll entertain a motion then to consider the resolution, sign the resolution accepting and implementing a Veterans Court in Kaufman County. And that was from Commissioner Allen, that's second. Commissioner Phillips seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Those opposed. And I have the resolution to guys. I have 4 or 5 copies of the resolution. Clayton will be working with you very much on this as well.
All right, thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Judge Wood,
Yes, ma'am.
would you be so kind as to turn up the volume?
Board is one for presentation. Who made the motion?
No, I have that. My question
I was
is,
gonna ask if they would be okay to do the wording of some of the work orders. Jason, are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
That way it's in order.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm fixing to give you the copy of the resolution here. You may already have it. Okay. Is that better now? Can you hear
Thank
me better? Okay, good. All right, let's go back up to item number 3, and that is to receive an update from John Polster with Innovative Transportation Solutions on status of the Kaufman County Transportation Program. John, thank you for being here, and if you'd like to come up, we'd be glad to hear from you this morning. Tell us what all's going on in the county transportation-wise.
May I have one, please? Thank you.
My name is John Bolster with Innovative Transportation Solutions, 2701 Valley Lane in Farmers Branch, Texas. This is a report that I provide each of the commissioners and the judge on a monthly basis. And if you want, we'll just go over it real quick. And if you have any questions, just stop me, because I already know what I know. You need to know what y'all want to know. Okay, so the first 2 projects on page 2 and 3, these are both projects that were in the bond program to do some new system improvements along 243. We initially had an engineering firm selected to do the engineering, but it was going to cost about $40,000 to do 2 intersections of engineering, and we talked TechSide into doing the design work for us to save those dollars and roll them back into construction. So we saved that dollars, and then your net RMA has a program where they look at funding transportation projects in the counties that are part of the RMA. They have about $400,000 available, so we submitted both the 243 at 2515 and the 243 at 2727 for potential funding through the net RMA on February 5th. We should hear about the selection of those projects, we think this summer, maybe even sooner. Typically, they have about $200,000 a year that they allocate, and in the last couple of years, nobody's submitted a project. So we're thinking we have a pretty good chance. And so if we get those dollars, we got 1 or 2 alternatives we can do. One is redirect those county bond money to other projects of priority, or look at doing more robust intersection improvement of the locations. Any questions on those 2?
Do they have that extra funding?
Well, we saved the engineering money so far, so that's good. And then the next project on page 4 is US 175 at 1895. This project again has another $200,000 for intersection improvements. We submitted that to the state under its safety program. It was selected. TechStud is in the process of putting together the design package for that. It's got to go through a warrant process for either a flashing beacon or a traffic signal, and the state's doing that as well. And depending upon which one of those is warranted, the good news on this project is we have to have it let by February of next year, because those are the time frame for the fund. So this should turn pretty fast and get on the ground pretty quick. And so we don't know if it's a beacon or a traffic signal. If it warrants a traffic signal, then we'll go ahead and do the traffic signal at that location. Any questions on that? All right, USA ramp relocation. This is the project that Michael Baker's working for, with us on the, in City 20. And right now, we're in the process of, finalizing schematic. We, initially thought about looking at pulling out one of those ramps, but after looking at the, moving the traffic in that area, we decided that all three ramps needed to be kept in the project. Michael Becker had the 95% plans done on March 11th, and then after getting comments back from TxDOT, there's some safety lighting that we need to do to include at the ramp bores, and so Michael Baker is going ahead and looking at what that would cost us, and that wasn't part of our scope to do safety lighting, so we're adjusting the contract a little bit to include the safety lighting at the ramps. So we're still looking at probably summertime for this project to be let. And I don't see any reason why it can't happen unless you do. Okay, FM 548. This is the project where we're doing the advanced planning on the entire limit, and then there's a breakout section on the next page. We've been meeting with the municipalities and the jurisdictions in the corridor to determine what 548 needs to be when it grows up. Currently, the topo is being done by TxDOT. That's another savings to the county. They agreed to allow survey and topographical survey work to be done by the state as opposed to by the engineer for Sequel Code. And we are in the process of meeting with those jurisdictions to determine what type of requirements they're going to want on the roadway to reach out, because it's like 20 Clinton inches in Marlboro County, Kaufman County, so there's 4 entities that we're looking at to coordinate what their parameters are for this project. We're in early stages, but we've offset the cost with the topography and the survey work for the state. So it's kind of early on in the process. But we do have a breakout section from Rita Road south to 80. That work is also being done by PK, and we anticipate the phase 1 having a 2017 wet date and construction start. And that's because we got to get environmental declared, the plans done, the right of way acquired, utilities relocated. So 986 advanced planning. This is one of the projects in Terrell that was put on hold for them to do those other projects that we're fixing to get into. That we came back and adjusted their ICA to move some money around inside their own projects, and so we put this on hold for now. The US 80 intersection improvements. This is the OTON project at the 80, 148, and 205. We met with we had multiple options. One of them was we were going to look at doing a grade separation in that location, but the railroad wasn't really willing to allow us to change the grade on their rail because of some spurs either into there. And to take 205 over would have pretty much taken out all of that commercial property there. So we went back to the drawing board. We got Othon and City of Terrell. We met with them probably 6 times. And we came up with multiple options. And then we met with TxDOT early in March, and we picked what's called option 2, which is depicted in the drawing, is the blue drawing, where we're going to do basically widen the roadway in each direction and add additional turn movements and throughput, and then we're going to shift the center line of the intersection further to the north, because the further you get away from the railroad, the better you can adjust the grade between the two roads. Right now it's kind of a hill, so we're moving the grade to the north to flatten out that grade. And it's right at almost $7 million total, so once we get it to a point, that's where we'll go in and start chasing TxDOT and Kaufman for the 8% difference we need on that job. Any questions?
Is the option two, is that the one where they raise the railroad?
No, option two is everything's at grade, and we're pushing the road north away from the railroad to get enough distance so we can raise, 80 to a 5 higher, because the railroad track's up. And so what you do is you go up and you go down. And so what we do is move the intersection, upraise it, let it chase out on 80, and then 205's got kind of a natural rise there anyway. So option two is an at-grade improvement that adds additional capacity to the intersection. There's dual turning movements, and
So how many lanes will it be in each direction?
the lanes will stay, 4 lanes on 80, and then the 4 lanes on 205. What we're talking about doing is adding dual lefts, dual rights if we need to, getting the turning movements put into that intersection to separate the traffic so that the through trucks can not have to conflict with the turning movements.
Will the railroad allow that many lanes?
We're minimally impacting the railroad on 148. But on 80 and 205, we're not touching. So it's something we'll have to get the railroad to approve, but they'll come a lot closer to approving that than they will raising the road. We just got into a fight with the railroad in another area that I represent on a 2-foot rise. And so 17 feet. Probably
And
that.
it was definitely gonna be cost prohibitive for them to.
Right.
Put bridge there.
Yeah, that was the other thing, was that, to chase the rail out as far as you'd have to chase it, it was well beyond what we think the intersection would want to do.
But at one time, weren't you even thinking about going under the?
Well, we're gonna split the grades. That's where we actually need about 22.
Okay.
We were gonna try to split the grades, but the cost on that was just so far outside of anything we thought we could justify.
It's a tough intersection.
Yeah, it's a busy intersection.
And the other issue we had to keep in mind was whatever we came up with, Terrell wanted to make sure that we didn't destroy the economic development quadrant. So that really limits what you're able to do there. All right, 175 South Frontage Road, this is a project that Danvon's working on, and they got the contract executed. We got notice to proceed early in February, and we're meeting with them in TxDOT on March 30th. I guess that's like this week sometime. I'm not sure what the day is. Yes, 2 days from now. To do the kickoff meeting, and again, this is the southbound frontage road, and we are looking at the potential in this corridor of adding a grade separation for 148 if it works out. That's not given yet, but I'll show you that on the next project. That's done. I think we've Commissioner Allen and I went to a meeting with Crandall a couple months ago, and half is laying out that alignment, and generally wherever 148 and the bypass hits the 175 southbound frontage road, we'll either work with either half or Danvon to look at adding that grade separation for, basically we just be connecting the frontage road. I don't know if we add ramps yet. That's another story. We're in the process of doing the aerial survey. Again, TxDOT's agreed to do that. And once we get the aerial survey done in May, then we'll pick up and continue to work on the schematic and the environmental assessment. And again, once we have the aerial survey, and then we can get half to give us clarity on the time frame, then we'll be able to put in the schedule where we have asterisks. We'll start anticipating what the schedule is on this property. But it's early on in its base planning phase. And then 148, the entirety of 148 through the county. This is a Brown and Gate project, and Again, the geotechnical work is being done by Alliance Geotechnical, and basically what we gotta do is determine, we're gonna go from a 22-foot, 2-foot shoulder road to a 24-foot, 3-foot shoulder, reconstructing basically the pavement. So the first thing we have to do is have a geotechnical done so we can determine what type of pavement design that road it needs. And until we get that, Brown and Gay can't start their work. So that's coming soon. And again, we pushed off the survey to the state, so that saved us some money on the contract as well. So, and I forgot to announce that Jeff Bush and Brittany Calloway are here from TxDOT, so if you've got any questions that require real answers from somebody who knows, they can help you on
You
that.
can corner them at the end of the meeting.
Yes. They're under instructions to correct me when I'm wrong, privately. Okay, so SH34, this is the LTRA project, and they are still working on their preliminary submittal to us. And so we've asked them to give us additional information on the schedule, and that's forthcoming. We don't have that yet. We had to work with TxDOT on exactly what it was we were going to do, because we've got a lot of bridges out there. And just, you spend all your money just on the bridge improvements. So we're trying to balance what we do on the bridges and what is left for actually making improvements to the roadway itself. So we kind of just get started on that one. Okay, US 80 Regional Planning. I got Stan O'Shea here from Princeton School. Basically, they're working from in and beyond in the county, and it says, Sharon, when do you think that draft study will be?
It should be done by the end of April. We should have the draft plan ready.
So after that, we'll get with individual commissioners and go over findings and present that information to you. But Stan, those guys are working hard on it. And we're coordinating on the regional part of the 80, back when we were doing the work in Forney on that Highway 80 grant project. We basically looked at what they were suggesting. There were some things that they had to tweak to match what we were actually doing in the city of Forney on that. So we are, the right hand knows what the left hand is doing. County thoroughfare plan. We're having public meetings this week. I think 4 of them, is that correct, Sharon?
Yes.
Okay. I was out of town last week before last, can't remember. There was some conversation about stuff that needs to be added to the thoroughfare plan. We're going to get that done. I think it's already in thoroughfare plan maps that we're going to be showing this week, right?
Right, it's already been added back to the plan.
Booyah. That's a technical term. All right, 34 bypass. This is a project that in Kaufman, that Kaufman's managing. We simply provided our participation on the project. It's got a May completion date, and they're at 86% complete. And I see no reason why they won't make that. Right, Mike? Salem County Road 151, it was a bond program where we entered into an interlocal with Kaufman. It's the same interlocal act as the previous job. And again, they are working on engineering, which they expect to be completed by April, and they are concurrently acquiring a right of way on that project. And I'm not sure we know for sure exactly when the project will start yet, but as soon as we know that, we'll enter that into the schedule.
My city manager is here from Kaufman. Is that, has the right of way all been obtained for them?
It will be most coast. I mean, it's very close. We've got one more property owner that needs to be addressed, and I think we've got a plan to get that deal done.
Yeah, that's in the report. We've got a couple more that we gotta get done, and I think that's the critical path on the project.
You know, it's all hung up on funding at this point.
Right. Okay, the 557 County Road 305 bridge. This is another one of those projects that we entered into an interlocal with the city of Terrell. There's multiple projects on the interlocal. They're about 92% complete, and they're telling us they should have that frontage road completed by next month timeframe. And I drove by there and it looks like it may be open, but the contract still has to be completed because of punch out and contract issues. So we anticipate complete contract completion by end of April. Okay, 148 North. This is that project where Terrell is short some money on it. And so they're gonna break the project into two phases. Phase one, from spur 557 eastbound to Apache Trail. They're anticipating letting that by the end of this year. They were working with TxDOT on this project to maybe find an additional couple $1 million on one of the bridges to be reconstructed, but TxDOT says the bridges that they wanted to replace has still got significant design life in it, so they declined to assist. So basically, instead of building two new bridges, we're gonna leave the old bridge and just put a new bridge next to it. And that's again part of the pass-through. We gave them money, they send us invoices, and we pay stuff they submit properly. Okay, 1641 advanced planning. This is the project that's passed through. We told you that Forney submitted, but it's in Forney, Kaufman, and County. We were talking to Brenda and Jeff a little bit ago. We're going to try to get together in the near term and see if we can't either get the state to allow the county to assume that pass-through project, since we are an umbrella political subdivision over all of those entities, which is a hang-up with the state, or find a way to make the pass-through tolling project something smaller within inside the city of Forney, who actually submitted the pass-through tolling project. And then before I commit y'all to anything, I'll come talk to Commissioner Phillips and see if I won't get fired before I suggest this. SH 34 advanced planning. Everybody seems to be interested in that road. So we're going to put the road back on the thoroughfare plan. And then this is a project that Freeze Nichols, early on when we bond package together, Freeze Nichols was selected as most qualified for this project, Highway 80 and the thoroughfare plan. So at some point we need to near term get those guys. They're working on the thoroughfare plan, they're working on US 80, and so we're almost done with the thoroughfare plan. So I think we're at the point where we can pick them up and start them working on figuring out what we want to do 34 sometime soon. Okay, so we have a item in our bond program called strategic project funding, and basically that's we weren't going to catch everything when we put the bond package together, and things come up at the last second that throw us off. 34 North LPA was one of those, and so the only thing to report on this is that there was $200 and something thousand, and whatever I'm wrong on, Karen will correct me, where we had spent some money on strategic funding that was eligible to spend out of that SIB loan that you had for this project. So we were able to recalculate the books to make those funds be paid for out of the SIB loan, which put more money back into your strategic project funding account. That's basically all that's been done since the last time. 205. This is the one from 78 in Collin County to all the way down to 80 in Carroll. And HAP is doing the work on this project, and right now they are having several meetings in the corridor. The last meeting they had was in Rockwall. Rockwall has a alternative route they want considered Rockwall County, that is John King Boulevard. We know that when we met with Terrell, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, if they were looking at maybe taking 205 a little bit further to the west. I don't know if that's made it through their process yet, so we probably need to do some more work. Identify exactly what that intention is with the city of Terrell, but the project is continuing on. When I get to the end, I'll explain to you the funding issues that we're facing. 205 is a candidate project, one of the major candidate projects that we're chasing with those funds, and I'll get to that at the end. And then 2 projects that are not on your borrow package per se, but have come up in our dealings with the county. One is the 205 at Griffin Avenue. There's a letter in the packet, so you'll have it there, that does warrant a traffic signal, but when you do the traffic signal, it also requires some additional turning movements to be added. And so what Jeff is suggesting is they plan on striping or repaving and restriping the intersection this summer, and at that point, the signal will be designed to install for the train movements that they're going to stripe. And they got a little drawing, we drew a little drawing for you on the, so that's good news. Safety improvements that can and pay for. And then Commissioner Phillips told me that if we didn't get a signal at 548 Falcon Way, that his wife would probably kill him at some point. So I took that to be a serious issue. So it says the project has a pending traffic signal, but I talked to Brenda and Jeff. It has been warranted for a traffic signal, and states in the process of doing the design. So we're going to try to get that done as quickly as possible. So, yes. So, financial issues.
Maybe everybody doesn't know, but Falcon Way High School comes out of that intersection. So it's really important.
Well, I think it is. So we're still immortal. So, what's going on transportation-wise? As you know, about 3 months ago, the Highway Commission came through the area and was communicating to the Regional Transportation Council that the diversions from the Highway Trust Fund, Fund 6, that was going into 25% going into education, and then the EPS funds, those diversions were eliminated out of transportation and funded in a separate way. So that put about $1.1 to $1.3 billion of additional revenue per cycle into transportation. What the commission has decided to do with those, what they call diversion funds, is to create a program called a congestion relief program. And what that is large-scale mobility projects. So in the first round, they put money on to Southern Gateway, which is south of Dallas, and what they call the lowest which is that last part of 35 going into Dallas from the north, and then put some other projects in the Fort Worth district. The large project, what congestion relief funding does is it funds those, what I call the pigs going through the python, right? They're those big projects that are really noticeable. Those funds are available for those large projects, which means that your Prop 7 money, which come online in 2018 and 2019, and your normal gas tax revenue will not be needed to fund those larger jobs. So it takes the pressure off the state for the big marquee legacy jobs they got there. We met with TxDOT Dallas District, and we are in the process of working together with both the district and the area office to identify certain projects that we think are going to be best qualified for the Prop 7 funds, which now Prop 7 won't have to be used on those larger jobs as much because the congestion relief takes those off the table. So some of our jobs wouldn't necessarily qualify for congestion relief, but because that's solving a lot of the district, and those funds are formula allocated, that's important. So they come to the 8 metro areas. Congestion relief is only going to be used for metro areas.
So those dollars aren't gonna go to rural, counties to do farm markets. They're gonna be kept in the urban areas doing, the big marquee jobs. So that has, Prop 7 comes online in 18 and 19, depending upon, how the tax, the sales tax revenue goes. Those dollars, the only prohibition on those dollars is you can't use them for toll roads. We don't have any toll roads, so we're okay. So 205 is one of those projects we're looking at. Improvements to US 80 is the top priority, and whatever else we can throw it and stick on the wall, or whatever those words are that we use on those analogies. We're going to be throwing everything on our bond package at those two programs, both the Prop 7 and the gas tax revenue. And I think that the state's wanting to move fast on these dollars, and so if you're not already planning, your project's funded in 18 and 19, then you're already too late. We're already planning. So the stuff that y'all started a year ago or so, those projects are in the pipe, rolling up along, where we are very close to the front of the line on those funds.
Mr. Slide, I think you have a question.
I'm wondering who the decision maker is on Prop 7.
Okay, excellent. Because Prop 7 is formally allocated as well. So that means that I think 36% of the total revenue comes to the North Texas area, because Dallas and Fort Worth is larger than Houston. I think Houston's like 29%. Once it comes to the region has a 69-31% split between the east and the west, which means Kelly Selman in the east, Brian Barth in the west, and Michael Morris in the middle at the Regional Transportation Council. So those three entities will be the selectors of projects.
Commissioners, y'all have any questions? I have a couple of questions on the commissioners. Y'all have any?
I got one question, and it's kind of directed to you and Mike as well. Lee Ayers made a statement the other day and sent out an email that he was concerned that the old Highway 34 route that was originally investigated through the Kings Creek bottom, he seemed to be upset that was removed from the new regional transportation plan. And since he is the economic development guy, how does that road through that swampland impact economic development for Kaufman, city of Kaufman? That was my question.
I'd ask you to direct that to Lee.
Do you have any idea what his thought process? He was concerned because it's been on the map for so long, and then the new regional transportation plan has moved it out of the bottom into either the route that it is now or even a more easterly route.
I can tell you that in speaking with Lee about that, there was a lot of time, money, and resource invested over time over the past 20 years dedicated to that north-south corridor that all of a sudden just disappeared. And all he is suggesting is if it's truly just a line on a map, then leave it on the map. And if the western corridor doesn't make, at least we haven't lost sight of the fact that we've still got a north-south corridor.
Have you talked to?
I haven't talked to Mr. Harris, but I read the email, and instead of trying to correct everything that was wrong in it, we just decided to put the line back on the map.
How will that impact our westerly and our easterly?
So I think I'm betting that I'm younger than anybody that's concerned about that road right now. So I'm just gonna outlive that last and outlive you, and then put it where it needs to be. The bottom is not a good location, but if the city of Kaufman and their economic development wants the county survey plan to show a route that can go on that corridor, notwithstanding. We'll put it back on, but it's still going to have to be pushed. And there was a comment about there being monies that was made available. There's never been any money on 34 at any time. I checked that from Peak 6 in Breckenridge with TxDOT in the Dallas district. There's not been any money on that project. You've got Grayson County, Denton County, Collin County, Rockwall County, Dallas County, all pushing the outer loop now, and so is Kaufman. And we have to make sure that our alignment is consistent with what our neighbor to the north is doing, and what our neighbor to the east.
Well, that's the reason for our regional plan, was connectivity.
So we're putting the 34 back in. Part of what we're gonna do with the Freeze and Nickel study is vet that more thoroughly, let everybody have their say in the process. They may not get the answer they want, but they'll get to participate wholly and heartily in the process.
That's my only question, or maybe Mike had answers to that.
He controls the economic development.
Okay, other questions?
The old thing I'd say to the public here this morning, that I'm glad y'all are here, but when we developed this road bond program and this plan, we looked at everything that we could do to make our properties in Kaufman County really develop, because they're gonna come our way. It's just us having a handle on how it goes. And this is what we did when we studied all this, worked on all these programs. So just want to clarify that to y'all, that it's about development for our county.
Sound like our planning timing is just almost perfect for the additional funds the state's going to have.
There's two times to plant a tree, 20 years ago and today.
I had a couple of questions, and I know we need to move on. We've got a number of items on our agenda. And Jeff may be the best one to ask. Where are you, Jeff? There you are. Stand up. Find the spots back there, and then people know who you are, and they say they want to challenge you about something. Could you, I know we have one project that is, I think, going to be bid during the month of April, and that's FM 3486. Can you give us a brief update on that?
Yes, sir. It's scheduled to go out to bid. It's next week, isn't it?
So, Brenda's there with you, I believe. Good. So that, and the construction would start?
Construction 2 to 3 months after bids.
And that's the road that connects 34 to 86 north of Terrell, that 986. And then the other thing, we'd all discussed at one time, and John, you may be able to jump in here too, about the conversion of County Road 346 to a farm market road that would progress all the way through Van Zandt County. Can somebody give an update on that?
TxDOT's waiting on us.
Okay. So we can't blame it on Jeff or anybody.
Well, I would like to. So we have to do a resolution requesting the state to convert. And one of the things we're doing is trying to figure out just exactly what we're signing on for, because we are responsible, once we make that request, for 100% of the cost of the right of way. So before we do the resolution, we're trying to get a better feel on what the volume of acreage we're talking about that have to be acquired. And then we're also coordinating with Van Zandt County, because they have to make the request concurrent, because part of that road is in Van Zandt County. So the resolution's easy. It's just making sure I know what I'm suggesting in order on the book.
Right, and I think there's going to be an effort to straighten out some of those curves.
That's part of the right of way. So it's like, Tiger Woods says, how do you hit a golf ball? You put a ball on a tee and you hit it with a club, right? But when I do it, it's way different than when Tiger Woods does it. So it's very easy to do the resolution and request than to put it on the system. I just want to know what the ramifications are of that, so we're working through all the logistics on it.
Okay, good. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Hey, that's a good report for us. Okay, the next item is item number 5, and that is here from Constable Johnson. Discuss and consider approving the racial profiling report of Kaufman County. Precinct number 2. So, Jason, you start to come up, let's let you have copies of that. If you'd like to ask any questions or comment on it.
Looks pretty good.
All right, you want to make a motion? Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Phillips, a second from Commissioner Rosales to accept the racial profiling report from Precinct 2 Constable's Office. All in favor, say aye. All opposed.
Then that means thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Good job.
Alrighty, item number 6 now is from Mrs. Ratcliffe, present and for us to accept the tax assessor's monthly report for February 2016. I think you had some fresh information.
I did, and everybody should have gotten a fresh report. I have a one-time reporting of the county that I need to make sure you see, just so the numbers will add up in the future. And so we're square with the auditor's office on how we're accounting for the money we brought in. So there is, on the new things on your paper, there's a line called adjustments. And then an adjustments line over to the right under the delinquent roll. That 10,000 there is adjustments that had to be made once we finished our turnover of the old system to our new system. There were some overpayments made, so we had to do, for the entire county, we had to make the adjustments and account for that somewhere, so we're accounting for it here in this report. So that line, you should never see this again. That's a one-time only thing, and that's done. Now the other, under M&O, we have the $8,182. This is something that only happens once a year in February, because that's when we get our special vehicle inventory reports completed, and we know how much money that some of the dealerships may have overpaid in taxes. They're required to pay a certain amount of taxes, and this includes manufactured home dealers, special heavy equipment dealers, and everything else in this category. But their taxes are based on the previous year's sales, and anyway, it boils down to they pay this much. And if it turns out they only needed to pay this much, then whatever's left goes to all the entities that were in that area of that dealership. So the county's portion this year is $8,000, but you can never count on it. It'll wildly fluctuate. Maybe $2,000, it could be $500, it could be $20,000, because the sales fluctuate. So this year we were taking in $8,182, and it's just a one-time report. So this line you won't see again in the road and bridge. We took in $1,449. So I just wanted to explain where those monies came from, so it'll be on the record. Now, other than that, our collections for this month, we collected $2.4 million in current M&O and over $200,000 in delinquent roll. And road and bridge, we collected $482,860 this month, with $25,600 and some in delinquent. But maybe of interest to you would be the rollback taxes this month. We collected were $89,000. They included some acres here in the Buc-ee's area, about 8.5 acres around there. We had 340 developments that were like 126 acres for 3 different areas of development in Forney. We had 256 acres in the Kemp area that's going to be used for mining. We had 39 acres outside the Crandall area for housing, and about 15 acres right near the county line of Rockall for housing. So that's where we got our rollback taxes this time. So $89,000 for M&O, and then we got $10,000 for road and bridge. So our collections year to date, $29,570,000 for M&O, and $5,158,000 for road and bridge. Do you have any questions on this report, John?
Any questions of the tax session collector? Good report. Rollback taxes are really, that helps. Yeah. I'll entertain a motion to accept the report. Motion. You have a motion, Mr. Allen. We have a second. Senator Phillips seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Thank you very much. Alrighty, item number 7 is from the treasurer, Mr. Oldfield, to present and accept the treasurer's monthly report for February 2016. Please have a copy of that.
Good morning. Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
Welcome. Nice to see so many interested people today. As the
judge said in your packet was our February 1st through February 29, 2016 monthly county treasury report. The general fund had a beginning balance of $14,814,576.62. Receipts of $5,327,106.44. Disbursements of $2,366,683.54. An ending balance of $17,774,999.52. And as has been the case prior, all of the funds are at American National Bank under our depository contract with the bank. In addition to the general fund, we highlighted the money market investment account that has 24,824.11 in it. The road bond INS is 628,030.49, and then the road bond cash that Mr. Polster gave you the presentation regarding, $13,514,404.8. In the lower right corner, you can see the interest that was earned and how that interest is allocated to the other funds based on their level of holdings, their ratio of holdings. On the next page, as we've discussed, we're going to continue to look at our treasurer's report to build in best practices. This chart on your next page is the other proceedings report. This is something that the Rockwall County treasurer includes, and some other treasurers include in their reports. I find it interesting that it tells you there on the first line, we processed about 282 receipts, AP checks written and disposed 608 in conjunction with the able staff of the county auditor who does the heavy lifting on that. Juror checks, payroll checks, and direct deposit stubs, hard copy checks, direct deposits, ACHs, bank reconciliations performed, and wire transfers, EFT payments made. Your next two pages are the pledged securities listing that American National provides to secure the funds held under the depository contract. And then we roll into the standard sheets where we show the cash receipts and disbursements for the funds that are to make up the general fund. That's 2 pages, and then the third page lists the separate bank accounts. And then you each have your road and bridge report. And in the other funds, the topic that's been a large conversation is our levy districts. And levy district 6 on Lake Ray Hubbard, they're very active with the Corps of Engineers. They will probably request us to disperse part of their approximately $67,000, I believe, that we have on deposit for them. And I know there's one old levy district that there's been a substantial amount of work done to get some issues resolved with it. So, thank you all for your decision on the treasurer.
Anybody have any questions from the treasurer? Item number 7. I'll entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's monthly report. Commissioner Phillips makes that motion. I have a second. Commissioner Shane seconds. Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Next is item number 8, and that is to discuss and consider reapproving the Kaufman County investment policy.
Good morning. The Kaufman County investment policy that's in your packet was the same as had been approved last year and the year before. And I don't think any of us are lawyers, and I don't know how long it's been since legal counsel has reviewed the Kaufman County investment policy. And if the court considers it appropriate, it might be a good opportunity to have a review like that performed prior to the readoption of the policy. That would be at the court's discretion.
I guess that would be a question for the district attorney's office as well, if they feel like that's something worthwhile.
It has been submitted over to our office, but I can take a look at it. Do you have another form or some amendments that you have in
No,
mind?
ma'am.
Okay.
Here's the existing policy.
How many years have we used the existing policy?
I know that this would be the third year. I haven't researched backwards to see how many years this policy has been established.
Well, how about, I mean, if you would like, we can take a look at it and maybe get some amendments that he's looking for, maybe if it's existing policy.
No, it's as I say, there's nothing driving it other than time. You know, I don't know of any particular weakness or omission in the policy, but I'm not, I'm not a lawyer, and I know how time marches on. And
Would you like for us to table this until she has time to the
if that would be appropriate, Judge, that would be fine.
Okay, would that work with the DA's office? Okay.
When does our existing policy expire?
The statute just says renew the policy at least annually.
Okay, so do we have a motion to table this?
We just probably need to start when we get it, it'll be our annual review day, so we'll create that day by reviewing it this time. We'll pull all the policies, compare them, and then advise, and then we'll be glad to work with that. That's no problem.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Allen to table. Have a second from Commissioner Phillips. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed. Then item number 9 is from the treasurer to review examples of approval for payment documentation filed and recorded on county bills submitted to the auditor for payment. Discuss and consider the style of approvals which best achieve the court's documentation goals.
Judge, do you typically slide to one side or are you in charge of the screen? You know, you can see from the treasurer's report, for the number of checks written, that doesn't near account for all the individual bills that the auditor staff review. And, you know, it's a tremendous undertaking, and it goes along just smoothly. But the goal of this presentation is just to illustrate for the Commission's Court the styles of approvals that we encounter. It's just to communicate. Communication is a very, very difficult thing, and a communication that was given to me on Thursday, I didn't read clearly. I didn't read the communication clearly, and so I know firsthand how difficult communicating information is. The first type you're going to see is where there's an approval stamp specific to the elected official or department with dates, signatures, initials, account coding, some or all of that information. Here's one out of precinct 1, and you can see in the upper part, if I was fancy and had a little red pointer, I'd point you up there to the front center, Kaufman County Precinct 1. Here's a couple out of precinct 2. You can see clearly in the middle of the document, the commissioner circled his initials, lots of coding. Here's out of precinct 3. On the lower left, you can see where an employee has accepted delivery of the goods. And in the center lower document, you can see where there's a commissioner stamp. Here's precinct 4. Again, on the lower left, you can see an employee signature accepting. And then in the center lower, you can see the signature stamp and the approval. Here's another example out of the Sheriff's Department. Center upper part, you can see the stamp, signatures, instructions. Here's another one out of the Sheriff's Department. You can see there in the middle of the page, the stamp, signature, date, and instructions. This one happened to have a purchase order with the documents. You know, purchase order says that it was allowed to be ordered. It doesn't tell us if the goods were received. Second type of approval is a generic approval stamp and the accompanying signature. And here you can see in the lower third in the center, you can see an approval stamp, you can see an approval signature, and probably that's an auditor's account coding. I know they spend a lot of time coding bills, and I take my hat off to them for keeping everything in the right numbers. There's one that had a purchase order with it. And then the third type of approval style we encounter is signatures, dates, other information with varying degrees of clarity. You know, here's an invoice. On the lower center, you can see a couple of flares. Again, it's just a poor copy. That's much more legible on the original bill, and you can see there's a check mark there on that approval. And the lower right hand, you know, the auditor is very diligent about noting when they receive something in their office. So there's stamps accepted received. There's a second page of that bill. It did have a purchase order. Then here's another example of the lower right-hand corner, clear signature, instructions, dating. Then the fourth type of approval style is, you know, an informal approval style, which much of it we already agree with. You know, where that approval style is utility bills come in, utility bills get paid, water, electric, gas, telephone bills. Here's a bill that comes from John Polster, highly skilled professional. This bill comes to us from John, instructions to pay. And, you know, I get these, and I've just not had any indication that anyone in elected official or department head has seen it. And here's another example of that style. And these are large dollar value checks normally. Here's a check that comes in, there's no approval. This happens to be, I think, the carpet on the, that's going to go here in the annex. And again, it just not any indication where it's stored, that they're a county employee, elected official, or department head checked it in or anything, or any approvals. It did have a purchase order with it. You know, here's another example that comes in. Not any indication for us, looking at it third-handed, to see if it was received, approved, where he is residing. So I just wanted to share that with you as the auditor and I try to be people pleasers, process payments. They process payments highly accurately. I am self-professed. I am picky. And, you know, I try to pay as much attention to $2 or $4.99 as I do $14,000. So, any points of discussion you all have, that's my presentation. I appreciate your time today.
Ron, should we standardize, or maybe just a question for the auditor? Should we standardize some type of approval stamp, that each department should stamp and have a signature of a department head or elected official, so that more clear as to material that is being received by and checked off by them?
You're welcome. Yeah, probably so. Thank you. You know, when I came here in April 2012, we had a lot of issues, a lot of findings. I've cleaned those up. I've got them off your audit report. I've helped get your credit report, credit rating up. I didn't do it, I helped. And I don't have anything else to say except you you need to read this, because I'm gonna follow statute. The county auditor has authority, they have the responsibility to make sure things are coded correctly, and that this county is safeguarded, their assets. Sometimes the laws haven't been followed, the code, and regarding the county auditor audits all the financial statements, including the county treasurer's report, before you accept it. So you're out of compliance by not having me certified that it's correct. Your county treasurer, county tax assessor, her report was not in agreement with my general ledger. She put those adjustments in because I'm financially transparent. She wanted to be compliant. She put those adjustments in there for her. And that's all I've got to say.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody or any action anybody would like to take on this item? Ronnie, are you asking for any?
No. Again, all I want to do is just really compliment the auditor, her staff, and she is. But in fairness, it's up to the court to determine whether the documentation suits y'all. I'm here to sign the checks. I've got responsibility to sign the checks that the court's approved. But I do get to ask questions.
I guess my question would be to the district attorney's office, and I don't know, I'm sure you love me doing this, but I'm not sure what we need to do if there is something we need to do at this point.
What I'm hearing, I'm not hearing there's a problem. I'm just hearing what the auditor pointed out is some of the issues that were brought up, and Mr. Opal's position is that he's complimenting what I just heard him say, is that if you look at what she says what the statute, not what she says she has authority over, maybe what he's saying is not relevant to what he's doing. I guess. This is the first blush I'm hearing it this morning, so I can only hear and read pretty quickly, and it says she'll have access, examine, investigate, it has all of her authority, gives the government code, tells her exactly what her responsibilities are, okay? So when you ask about uniformity and how things are supposed to be done, I think we should be talking to our auditor about that. This is, I think, within her purview. Is that what I'm understanding, Karen?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. I haven't talked to her. I haven't talked to Mr. Opal this morning, except saying good morning.
So
it's just reading what the law says. And so if I'm the auditor, I guess the question is, why is he making a presentation? But I don't know. It's not a legal issue. There's no action on it. This is a conversation.
That was my question, really, was there an action item?
He can't take the action he's asking by statute. There's nothing.
No, I'm not asking to take an action.
He asked me that, so I'm answering what he said.
Yeah, and I thought he did have on here about discuss and consider the styles, consider it mean action.
But that would be the case.
It does seem to me that one thing that could be done, maybe the communication, if your report needs to be approved by the auditor before it comes to the commissioner's court, that is something that probably needs to happen.
Absolutely. That was my follow-up, and I appreciate the auditor sharing.
Okay. Commissioners, y'all have any questions or any comments that you'd like to pass along?
Well, I'd like to see some type of approval, standardized, maybe between the auditor and the treasurer, so that every bill gets signed off, to make sure that whatever we're paying is being received by whichever department receives it, whatever the item, whether it's oil or gas or raw materials or computers or servers or building materials, whatever. I'd like to see something that's going on, just a good policy.
It is, and Commissioner Dog, if you flip to page 2 of this under prescriptive, it says the local government code, and it cites 112, in a county with a population of less than 190,000, the county auditor may adopt and enforce regulations not inconsistent with law or with the rule adopted under the local government code that the auditor considers necessary for speedy and proper collections, checking, and accounting. And so if you're something that you're asking her to look at, she has got the authority and can create those regulations as it's set out for her under 112. And I think that's what she was a little confused about the presentation, because if you're directing someone to do it, it would be her. And then, of course, you probably, want the treasurer to approve that, but ultimately come back and then you would know what her prescriptive was.
Well, I don't care who
Yeah,
it goes to, I just would like to see
I think
materials or whatever we're buying signed off on by someone.
I think we don't care, but I think people in their individual roles may care. You and I don't care.
Also, if you remember when the carpet came up and we paid for it, I pulled PO to let you know. Mr. Sebastian, the purchasing agent that has retired, was here. He told you that the carpet had been stored out at, I believe, the South Campus or someplace, till they could get the walls painted. We ran into the mold situation, and Jack was responsible for that. He signed off on that, okay? We have worked now in another method with ITS. When we first started with ITS, Mr. Poster, he was still meeting with y'all individually not to interrupt or not be compliant with the Meeting Act, so y'all would know what's going on. Judge Wood now is going to be signing and approving those ITS. And so that will be taken care of.
That clarified. Yeah, that would correct any duplication of invoices missed.
All right, thank you very much. I don't believe we need any action on the part of the court, so we'll move right on into item number 10, and that is to receive an update from the Sheriff's Department on the Harris radio system installation and implementation date. Commissioner Buzon had asked for an update.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about the implementation of the system, or where they're at on the construction of it. Also the interlocal agreements with the city that we're going to be dispatching.
So far, I prepared, I guess what the agenda item was the installation and implementation of that. I didn't prepare the rest of the stuff for it with the interlocal agreement that's being worked on. I know the city of Kaufman and VA's offices is working that out as we speak. So I didn't bring that documentation. But the other part is the update from Thursday, this last Thursday, from Harris Communications, is the proposed date for dispatch cutover is April 18th. There's no scheduled impact issues at this point. The microwave and fiber network are installed and tested. Final system testing for the microwave is in progress as we speak. The consoles are installed, test is in operational, working some minor issues in login. The gateway, the interoperable gateway, is installed. One of the engineers is performing all the tests this morning on it. The 4 Harris radios are ready to transmit, along with the 3 other radios installed and testing next week. The cables for the remaining Motorola radios are ready for testing, and that's for interoperability with the other agencies around us. So far, the SO site installment at the Sheriff's Office is transmitting. They did that Thursday. The Elmo site is in progress and should be transmitting, we hope, by today. The Combine site is installing. It's not up. We're hoping we'll have that up in a couple of weeks. And then targeting the next 2 weeks for coverage and testing. And then we're hoping in mid-April, or if not towards the end of April, we'll be signing off on all the agreements that we're meeting all the percentages that Harris has put in their contract.
Very good. Appreciate it.
I know, Mr. Sly, you mentioned the other day you were ready for us to get up and going as soon as we get the interlocal agreement and get it all ready to go.
We're close. We've got just a very minor issue that we're going to deal with this week, and I think we'll be ready to roll.
We're going to meet with HR and stuff on the person that we're trying to work out and get back with everybody else once we get that agreement worked out.
Any other questions for?
So mid-April we'll be dispatching out there.
We're shooting to have cutover date for ours over there by the 18th. That's what we're shooting for. I ain't gonna guarantee it, you know. We should have done in some degree with all the other issues we had with trying to get the building put out there in the road, which the Commissioner helped us a lot on that road to get a crane in there to lift that building. It took us a while to get that set up, so if everything goes as well and the plan is expected, I'm hoping we're ready to do that.
And I believe, Commissioner Phillips.
Right, we saw, and Bob was working on the fencing and all that, so.
It's gonna be difficult if you.
Oh,
before we get it done.
Well, we're gonna have to do the best we can to get moving forward. I think our big concern is trying to get the fence up, and secure our employees, and then we'll work on the rest as we get to that. We gotta get our employees secured.
So when you split the switch in mid-April, or late April, first of May, are we gonna be on the narrowband digital?
We've been on narrowband for over a year and a half now.
I thought our radio was fine.
No, we're talking about digital in 700 and 800. We had a narrow.
The new system.
Yes, you're talking about digital in 700 and 800, not, right.
So when, is that gonna be operational?
Yes, yes, that's
They're gonna
everything.
have all the radios installed in your.
We're working on that now, we're already meeting their programming,
Right.
all that stuff now, and they should be getting the fire departments in the next few weeks, meet with them and get them installed.
Right.
So we're working it out as fast as possible.
Other questions? Thanks for the update.
Thank
Good
you.
update.
Item number 11 is to receive a year-to-date update revenue report from the auditor's office related to the ATS program.
Good morning, gentlemen. You got the report, we emailed to you. Okay. This was requested by Commissioner Rosales, so we went back to the beginning of when our contract started and carried it through as of February 2016. We haven't received all of our information for March because it's not the end of March yet, so we can get a current one on that. But anybody have any questions? Because at the end of September 2015, we had cleared $69,714 after we paid our fees to ATS and what was recorded in our revenues. So then we carried that figure over on the sheet so you could see a grand total, aggregate total over the months through February 16 of $149,009.60.
Appreciate your report. Again, one of my main concerns is the contract obligations. I was really concerned that we're at a deficit according to our contract. According to my numbers, using the contract numbers, your numbers, using the revenue that we received, by my calculations, up to the end of February 2016, we're at a deficit of $497,000. And that's not taking into consideration the school bus cameras. Does anybody know how many school bus cameras we have?
I'm not sure, Rebecca, should we be discussing this in an open session since we've not done that in the past because of the ongoing negotiations with ATS?
For your notice later to have the discussion. Okay. Let me understand this question specifically. Does it relate to the report that she's printed out and numbers that come out within that report?
Not with her numbers, it relates to our.
Then in that case, if it's not related to the agenda item that's been posted, then let's wait to discuss it.
Thank you. No, part of the rest of our discussion.
All righty, the next item is to discuss and consider approving the county organizational chart. We've been working on that along with Commissioner Allen.
That's correct. We noticed that, when we came off this whole organizational chart, and so we kind of made one, so that we could get one on the website. And with the approval of the court, and we put it on the website. I think everybody's pretty good with it, I don't know.
What have you?
Front of you, so, question. Bring it up, it's a correct, whatever you need to do.
I've looked it over now.
Anything we've left off, any department, I can't think of anything.
You don't have court collections required by the state for the county of court collections. And right now, it's very well.
Court collection, she said.
Isn't that under county clerk?
County clerk, that's under election, that's under elected officials.
Yeah.
Already.
I think her point is to show the bubble underneath county clerk as court collections.
You want to add a bubble? What you're asking?
Election part, right?
It's an office required by the state for the county. So I think it should be
Separate department. It's a separate department.
underneath my office, just like elections is underneath the tax assessment.
Well, it's a, they like to send it a separate department. We have a separate department for back and forth. That's what we do, separate.
I don't have.
Yeah.
It used to be that.
If it's not a separate, I don't know that we can put it on it, so we tried to kind of put everything, just actually have a separate budget item fund bracket, you see what I'm saying? And
I think all she's saying is that she has jurisdiction over cases that are beyond just a county court. I think she does some collections for district courts, and JP one, 2, and 3, so that's
but
the
on the web,
clarification she's looking for.
on the website, I think it gives you a place to go for collection, but
I would think if I have a district court case and I start thinking, where am I gonna go for collections? I'm gonna look and say, oh, district court. But if you have the bubble and it says court collections, then maybe.
yeah, but I'm just saying that's why we didn't have it on. I don't want to put it on, I don't want to be a problem.
I don't think you prefer to put it on there, it's kind of clarified.
Clarify our situation.
I'm just explaining how we got to be boxed.
No,
We picked out things that actually have budget.
Budget too. Looking at it.
the only other question I would have is on emergency declarations that the county judge does. Is there any consideration of putting emergency management under county judge?
It is there.
It is there.
We haven't updated.
Oh, you guys have updated from last year. Sorry.
Once you pass.
Okay.
Anybody have anything, go ahead and approve with the addition of the court collections being under the county clerk? Anybody have any objections to that?
Nope.
Okay.
There is another department close to the auditor.
Yeah. So we will, somebody like to put that in.
I'll make a motion to accept this and put the collections under the county.
We have a motion from Commissioner Phillips, we have a second. Commissioner Allen seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. All right, thanks, gentlemen. Next is to discuss item number 13, setting a date for the annual countywide cleanup and advertising of bid trash hauling. Lisa, thank you for being here this morning. This is an item that always generates quite a bit of interest in the county. You guys work hard as well, with a number of people putting it together. So, item is to discuss the date, and we even do it, I can't remember whether we do it the week before Mother's Day or the week after.
It's gonna be no more.
Mother's Day, you know when it is.
It's about 3 weeks from now. Well, but the thing of it is I don't know if everybody's aware, we've had less and less participation from vendors.
as many vendors to choose from. And then we also have the cities that wait until we set our date, and then they set their date accordingly. And they already have contracts in place with these big vendors. So it's not allowing those vendors to have enough manpower to go around to accommodate our needs as well. So that's one of the reasons for the lack of participation.
It's 30 yards. Candles are set. They don't have enough candles, when we call. If, nothing going on like right now, they're all clean up and all that. Every 30-yard candle that's existing in our area right now. And I promise we're gonna have a really hard time. We could, if, I don't know, countywide thing, maybe if we broke it into 4 districts and did them in separate weeks. I don't know if we've ever talked about it.
Well, I talked to Lisa today about this. Last year, we spent, Carter, Caleb, almost $60,000 on countywide cleanup. What if we took some of this money in each city animal, so we'll give you $5,000 to pay for your cans, but the city do it, you have to get out of it.
Let's go back to one other person here. First thing we gotta do over here with Carol, since Carol is using our site now because their bridge is washed out. Do you know when their cleanup is gonna be, Charles?
No, sir, they do not know yet, and I don't think it'll be any time shortly that they'll be able to decide. He's dealing with FEMA funds to fix the bridge and all that, so that'll be a problem.
Yeah, Mother's Day, just so anybody, that makes any difference, is May the 8th, so if we do have that. It's obvious, I know that's a popular thing, and my concern is if we don't try to do something, we're gonna have more and more trash show up on our county roads. I'm sure we're gonna make that too.
Well, we're not arguing that, we're just trying to figure out a way around it, because I'm telling you, everybody's already so booked up, but you can't, like, think we use 14 in one day. Well, nobody has 14 into 30 on them.
They return it, they take them and dump them.
But they still have to come out here and put them down.
Yeah, that's stayed about half of it.
Well, that's been a big issue is, you know, y'all be full and be calm and they don't have the manpower to come and get them done.
We had several last year.
Well, I guess the first order of business would be to set a date and see if any of the vendors can match that. The weekend after Mother's Day, then the Friday and Saturday, we made the 13th and 14th. So we can just set that date.
Yeah, but they give you some time to get out to see what happens.
In June.
May. They visit with the vendors and some of the schedule of the line.
We used to have a free bid as well for this, and that's something that's not, they ended up taking that out. Okay, Michelle? And then if you make it mandatory, then, if you maybe had somebody that forgot, then you just cut and throw on yet another vendor, so. Trying to leave it open as possible.
What are we down to now? How many vendors you think? 2 or 3?
Last year we had 2. The one was just kind of, and one of them couldn't even do part of Friday and not, I mean, it's been.
Well, then the other problem comes in with, like, City 20 has contracts, Kaufman has contract. No other person wants to drive all the way out there when the city has a contract. They don't already, their trucks aren't already out. I mean, we run into a lot of problems. I mean, you know, even CWD last year, you know, they helped some, and they were able to put out
I
something.
think they were able
We ended up
to.
having 2 different vendors do ours, just couldn't get enough cans. And then we were still delayed in carrying in, kept the cannonation day, just to
Oh, I know.
clean up our yard, put it all on ground.
A few years ago, get their stuff picked up. It's been on months to get their stuff picked up.
Yeah. So I mean, it's an issue. It's a issue right here.
action item is to discuss setting a date.
Date, so.
And advertising bids, so.
That's what we done.
Okay, so are you putting that
I'm making a motion to set it
13th and 14th
and 15th.
and see where we go
Where
with
we
it?
go from there.
And do I have a second on that?
Second.
Mr. Allen, second motion. Lisa, do you need anything else before we vote? All in favor say aye. Those opposed, thank you very much. Item number 14 is to discuss and consider a 3-month rental purchase option for a semi factory generation 4 crack sealer utilizing TASP 5-door contract number 424, 13th Road and Bridge Precinct, 91st Ward. Second. We have a motion, Commissioner Rosales, we have a second from Commissioner Allen. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
All right, can I ask a question? Are you ready to make sure to see how it works before you purchase it? Okay.
It'll 100% go to the purchase, there won't be any interest. For the first 3 months, we just go in, then you put it to
All righty, I know we need to take a break here just a second. I'd like to go ahead and take a couple of other items, if everybody's okay with that. Item number 15 is to discuss and consider approving an order providing possession of firearms in the Kaufman County courthouse and office buildings. I believe that was, Rebecca, if you'd like to speak to that.
Judge Wood sent over a request to do an order, kind of defining where or what the premise is within the statute that prohibits firearms around the courthouse building. And each of our judges, our JPs, and then both our county court and our district court judges signed orders for their court defining those places. And then I went ahead and drafted an order just in general for the court to decide and define and adopt those orders, saying that we also consider the same place as where these weapons should be prohibited is what the judges are telling us as well. And then it should be included in your packet. Does anyone have any specific questions?
I've got the orders here for us to sign. Anybody, I think you do. Anybody has any questions or concerns? What's your pleasure? Item number 15.
So it's still up to each judge to determine what area is regulated.
So what this does, it piggybacks on orders that they've already determined. If you flip to the back page where it says Exhibit A, they're defining its courtroom, the chambers, the clerk's office, restrooms, and hallways, lobbies, common areas. And does the same thing for the JPs as well as, and then in the district, they add district clerk's office, county clerk's office, grand jury rooms. And I think because of our specific fact issue, where our courthouse is all one level and everything's mixed together, it's very hard to break off certain areas that aren't used by the court.
And if you guys remember, our prior conversations were about the flow, because, you know, we wanted to make sure that we were complying with people's ability to carry. And we kind of had a little, I think, we don't know if we had a workshop, or we had a meeting or something, and the JPs, and we just don't have a flow. In newer courthouses, the judges are separate from the public, who are also separate from the inmates. And on our courthouse, and the clerks can go into the judge's office separately without ever having to go through the public areas. So, you know, we just don't have it set up. If you're a judge, you use the public quarters to use the facilities, the restroom, to go to your probation office, to go to the clerk's office. So the court, in our case, is a moving thing just because of our facilities. So there's no way we can protect the courts, and I don't think it's a while to construe it that way. I think it's very fact specific, and so someone may complain. I mean, and we have to be prepared to respond to that by showing the facts that we have. I don't think it's just across the board, every courthouse can do that. I just don't think so.
It also says in the front here, it says Kaufman County, are we talking about this bill?
Yeah, you are talking about this building.
Court is in session. Commissioner Phillips, seconds the motion. Further discussion before we vote. All in favor, say aye. All righty, item number 16 is from Lori Floyd to discuss and consider accepting property renewal questionnaire for July the 1st, 2016, renewal date with the Texas Location Campus.
This is the first step in our property renewal. They send a questionnaire, that we have to answer these questions and verify that the equipment and property in our buildings are all accurate. And then once we approve this, they'll go back and get our numbers together, and then they'll give us our renewal rates and all of that. So I sent you guys, a couple times for y'all's mobile equipment, which is the hardest part of it. I think it was, last week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, I sent another one with a couple of questions. Haven't heard back on those, but, if y'all approve this, I need to get those questions answered. There were some things that were, a lot of things were duplicate on their insurance list that we need to mark off, that I've marked off. There were a couple of pieces of equipment that I couldn't find in our inventory, and I had no idea what they are, if they were a rental or what. But, it's really important that, I know y'all written some stuff, but we put this equipment on the insurance, and it stays on there until I hear otherwise. So if I don't hear otherwise, we're paying for insurance on equipment we don't have. And so it's costing us money if we're not communicating. So I need to know, if we rent something, I kind of stay up on it, if y'all talking in court or something, but anytime we purchase anything or rent anything or we sell anything, I need to know so that we can get it off insurance and we're not paying for equipment that we don't have. So if we did that a little better through the year, I think this renewal process would be a lot easier. But, anyways, with that being said,
When did you need those back?
I'll have to send this to, tackle the 31st. So, if y'all just want to approve it, the questionnaire, I need it approved today so that I can send it, but then we can adjust those few questions that I have.
That agreeable to everybody?
I think I've got all mine back to you all.
Kelly sent it to you this morning.
Commissioner Dudley?
Yeah.
We have a motion to approve as requested by the HR director on our property. We have a motion from Commissioner Shane, I have a second. Commissioner Phillips, seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye. All righty, now I'd like to move, and we're going to take a break, I promise you, just in a moment. I'd like to move to the addendum, item number 20, it's addendum number 1, it's item number 24. And that is to Ralph, we're going to let you talk about hogs here just in a second. Discuss and consider approving a resolution authorizing application for a county, Kaufman County Hog Out Management Program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We've got plenty of hogs. Plenty. We don't need any more, I don't think. Not of this type anyway. I received this from the Texas Department of Agriculture last week. They have done the hog out program. I think a few of you know that maybe. We participated in that program several years ago, and it actually came in pretty close. I mean, like in the top 10, I think, in the state. We came in. We didn't qualify for any of the grant money, but they're doing it again this year. It's a program that they're going to run from May 1st to May the 31st. The last time we participated in it, we kind of had they have some qualifications and whatnot about how to go to do this. We'll have to have the application turned in and signed by Judge Wood by June the 16th. But there's a possibility we could get some grant money from them. It's a payback program for money we've already spent. Y'all may not know that the commission several years ago approved some money to buy some hog traps. We've got 3 in the county. They're large. We bought 30 panels, 200 depots, a lot, and some game cameras. I think that if we get this year, the grant gonna give out 20 prizes, ranging from $5,000, I think, up to $25,000. If we were to get one of those, of course, we'd be able to count those panels that we have already purchased, and put that money toward doing future feral hog educational programs. I have a goal. I'm going to ask the Livestock and Forage Committee to help us fund one of the new traps that the Noble Foundation has patented. It's quite fantastic thing. The total cost of it's about $6,000, and I'm not sure I'm going to get talked into funding that entire thing, but we could probably put some of this grant money toward it if we would receive part of the grant. The last time we did this, the way we have to have a method of certifying the hogs, pretty much the commissioner agrees to certify those hogs at their station. Let people bring them by there in their trucks and count them and get names. I think a better way to do it is just to let me certify all of them. If somebody comes by your office and says, hey, I got a truckload of hogs, y'all just call me or something, I'll take care of keeping the records on that. I only need basic, I need their address for the field dog, and their name, and their contact telephone number. And for 31 days, I can do that myself.
We had a very, I think, pretty good bunch of folks that did.
We had a big turnout. Commissioner Allen's precinct, of course, had the largest turnout in their deal, but we had hogs from all over the county. Precinct 4 had a tremendous amount of hogs killed. One that was killed by a pickup truck. The fishery told us, can we count that? I said, absolutely.
You run them down also.
If it's dead, we can count it. You cannot count hogs that are trapped and moved to another location and turn loose. Those are not countable. They have to be disposed of in some manner approved by the law. Anyway, that's how we would count them.
All right, gentlemen, what's your pleasure on the request?
I just got one question. It says here on this page 3 of the RFGA, it's strictly on the reimbursement basis, as you said, after the county has submitted proof of allowable expenditure.
And of course, y'all already paid for the other, for all the other traps.
That was gonna be my question.
What
future expenditures might we expect?
I personally would like to buy that trap on the duck, and I'll tell you why. They perfected it, and of course, it's a very nice trap, but it's something that you can set up and take down in 30 minutes. It takes a day or a day and a half to put up and take down one of those traps we got there. So, tremendously long time, very labor intensive. This new one, you set it up and put it together in 30 minutes and take it down in 30 minutes, move the thing around. I think if we could get one, we could charge a nominal fee maybe to people just to maintain the thing and really probably get their money back very quickly.
They can go to the Noble Foundation website and see traffic action.
I have actually talked to the people at Noble Foundation. They'd be willing to come down here several times for trainings for us. That's one problem that they raise up, and you can be sitting in Cancun on the beach and see it on your phone, push a button.
That's pretty cool.
That's a very neat deal. Anyway, that's. Anyway, y'all would like to participate in the program, I'm all in.
All right.
We have a motion.
Second.
Motion from Commissioner Allen, a second from Commissioner Gonzalez. All in favor say aye. Aye. One last item, thank you, Ralph, for putting this together. Yeah. This is to discuss and consider entering into an interlocal agreement between Dallas County and Kaufman County, joining Dallas County in RFP number 2015-032-6486 for restoration, preservation, and repair services, historical books, and other records pursuant to section 11.51 of Dallas County's contract with Kaufman Technologies. And I believe this is used, and you have some invitations as well.
Not really, it says. I put it on the agenda for you.
Okay.
In other words, we're piggybacking off that.
We are exactly.
Okay, so I don't know, yeah.
Skeet now, we discussed the tour with Laura, right? That's an
That's
impressive
a neat place.
thing.
Yeah. We know where to go in the storm. Just have to get there first.
That's the first of it.
Yeah, we did it first.
Thanks, Laura.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Allen, second from Commissioner Phillips. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Those opposed. Okay, we will take a break and come back in and go immediately into open and closed session. Meeting back to order, and we will enter into an executive session. I will need a motion to enter into an executive session concerning item number 26 on the agenda. Well, actually, it'll be item number 19 on the agenda. So do I have a motion to go into executive? I believe we needed an executive session, do we not? Rebecca or Lee?
It's posted that way, but if you.
There's no reason for us to.
You can do either one,
Yeah.
you post it both ways.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just do it open. I don't think anybody has any objection to that. So if you'll tell everybody, Brian, this first part will be open.
This first part will be open.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be on the second addendum that was issued late Thursday afternoon by my office. And it's item number 26, and it is to discuss and consider approving a tax abatement agreement and resolution between Kaufman County and Walmart stores, Natives Incorporated, an Old Castle building envelope with approval of the Kaufman County District Attorney's Office and authorizing the county judge to sign. We're pleased to have with us today Don Stiles, who is with the Carroll Economic Development Board. We'd rather have you here than any day of the week. So, and I believe we have, I believe the commissioners have the item that you're talking about. So if you'd like to talk with us a little bit about that on these free abatements.
Okay. Do y'all have Walmart first? Can you tell me which one you'll have?
We got all three of them this afternoon.
Okay, I'll start with Walmart.
Okay. Everybody have a copy of that?
The first one, Walmart DC in Terrell is planning an expansion which includes 17,000 square feet of new refrigeration with a capital investment for the building of $5.7 million and equipment, which is mostly refrigeration equipment, is $10,700,000 for a total investment of $16.4 million. They will create a minimum of 50 new jobs and a max of 100. And per the guidelines of the city and the county's economic development policy, we have offered the tax abatement that's listed below, which is basically an 8-year tax abatement based on the county's policy, beginning year 1 and 2 with 100% and ending with 25% in year 8. We were also offering them a job grant of $3,000 per job for a minimum of 50 employees and a maximum of 100. We're offering triple Freeport tax exemption, which includes the city, county, and school, and a waiver of all building and impact fees for the city. And I will be happy to answer any questions on Walmart.
I believe Commissioner Shane and Commissioner Zolli sit in on this.
Yes, sir.
And it does meet all the requirements of our tax abatement agreement. Okay.
My only question is the job grant, $3,000 per job, that's strictly the cities.
That's the Economic Development Corporation, yes.
They don't perform, they don't get.
Yeah, if they don't create a minimum of 50 jobs within 12 months, they won't get it. They won't get the job grant.
Okay, you're going to go ahead. Anybody Anybody got any questions about the Walmart? Let's move on to the second one, whatever you'd like to do.
Okay. Second one I have is Madix. And this one is just a little bit different. Madix is doing 2 different phases of expansion. They're expanding one of their existing buildings by adding 50,000 square feet and $4 million in building and equipment. And also, they are going to do a new expansion of 100,000 square feet, which will be a new building. And they'll add about an additional 200,000 square feet within the next 3 years. And their total capital investment will be $10 million. And so, although it says phase 1 and phase 2 on the different incentives that we're offering them, it's all going to be offered under one tax abatement. So it will be basically an 8-year tax abatement, very similar to Walmart's, the 100% year 1 all the way down to 25% year 8.
And as far as the tax abatement, our part, it's our standard policy and everybody's.
Yeah, excluding the road and bridge
Right.
and the INS.
And rollback, but I don't think it's any rollback.
No, there's no rollback.
Anybody have any questions about the Madix project? All right, the next one, the last one.
The last one will be Old Castle Building Envelope. They are going to construct a 73,000 square foot building to house their new energizing equipment. Their total investment will be $15 million. And we are offering them pretty much the same incentives as we did on Walmart. And the 8-year tax abatement, beginning with year 1, 100, going down to 25% year 8. And I'll just be happy to answer any questions on this one.
Anybody have any questions about this last one or any of them for that matter? And I want to be clear that what we're doing on this is just the tax abatement part is, and I think the questionnaire has now been received. But this is, the contract itself will all be subject to review at a later date by the district attorney's office.
Yes.
And so everybody's clear on that. Judge, you or Rebecca, have any comments you want to add about that?
No, we hear what you're saying, it's subject to review at a later date. Okay.
That's okay.
It's not okay, it's what it is. No, our feelings is before you vote, we would have won it on time. That doesn't change. I mean, that's not going to change. I mean, we got at 3 o'clock on Thursday before we were gone on Friday for Good Friday or Easter, which is no one's fault. I mean, it's not. I'm just saying, we're lawyers. We're sitting here looking at it today and comparing, and I mean, that's not how you prepare. So it's not anybody's fault. I got it. Is it good? No, it's not good. It is what it is.
Yeah, and basically, we're just asking, I guess, the tax abatement to be approved today, and then the agreements can be reviewed and just, you know, over whatever time it takes to review those and be signed at a later date.
And what happens, obviously, is that there's something wrong and you approve the tax abatement. I mean, that can get to be a problem. I mean, we're just lawyers who look at how problems happen, and we are in a position as a district attorney to represent the county the best. But I understand you've got time deadlines that you weren't aware of. I've also understood from an email that this is how we've always done things, and we're just here to say that we don't want to do things like this in the future. But it's a great project, and it's great for Terrell and for the county, so we're excited for that. And we don't want to be construed as obstructionists. We just have to do what's best for the county. And just looking at the numbers, they look great. But I can't put my imprimatur on it because I haven't had time to review it in the way I'd want to. I'm not going to put Rebecca in that position, and we'll review the contract in a timely way. But the tax abatements, you know, they look great.
Okay, now,
But I
hopefully next time we can get those to you in a better,
Absolutely.
timely fashion.
And because we don't want to be the ones, our office, getting in the way of something like this. This is greatness. So just want to be clear. I can't say something I haven't looked at. I mean, that would be very ineffective.
Well, as we move forward with this in the future, we'll need to remember those timelines.
Yes.
And so that we don't get into an issue with this, so.
No, I mean, I just want to be clear.
Yeah, I think, I know I'm clear, and so I'm hoping, I think everybody else is.
Yes,
We'll need to work with all of our communities on that as well, so. Okay, but it is three very good projects, they're all existing industries in our county, so it's a good thing, so, in my opinion, and subject again to review by the district attorney's office. I'll entertain a motion at this point in time to approve the tax abatement agreements between Kaufman County.
John, it does say that it will be in this, after approval of the Kaufman County District Attorney's Office and authorized county judge to sign. So it will be reviewed by.
I think everybody fully aware of that. Okay, so we have a motion from Commissioner Shane, do we have a second? Commissioner Rosales seconds the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed, thank you very much. Thank you.
It says that agreement
Now, let's go back. We're now to item number 17. And I will need a motion to exit the regular meeting. Have a motion from Commissioner Rosales. And a second from Commissioner Allen. All in favor say aye. Those opposed. And the time is
2 years in,
and the Allen, and seconded by Commissioner Shane to exit the executive session. And the time is 11:59. Allen and Shane, 11:59. Any pass unanimously? Item number 20 is to discuss and consider exiting executive session. We've done that. And then item number 21 is to discuss and consider approving line item transfers.
anyone have any questions over the line item transfers?
Anybody got anything from the needy answers on line item transfer? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept those as reported. Have a motion from Commissioner Phillips, do I have a second? Commissioner Shane seconds the motion. All in favor say aye. Those opposed. All right, discuss and consider claims for payment, item number 21, 22.
All right, I have two additions to the claims for payment. I apologize, but two bills from Harris Corporation on the radio bond was late getting to us, so we didn't get it to work for payment, and they submitted it. And we told Harris that we probably wouldn't be able to include it until the next court session, and they come back and asked if I would submit it to y'all for approval today. I've got the two for you to look at. They've been signed off on by the person in charge of that project. So if we approve those today, along with your other bills, the bills are $2,448,262.27.
And that includes the two additional bills.
Yes, sir.
Harris Communications.
Look at those.
And Brian, this is work that they have completed at the communications center.
Yes,
Okay.
on the site, so.
Whose signature is that?
Looking for.
Start getting him to spell it.
He put his ID number?
Is that what that is, 1058?
Yeah. That's how we always know, because
Because you can't read it.
yeah. I'm more overworked, mine is just as bad, so that's why I put mine.
That's good, good for that.
I
Out of your original bills, $548,000 was your road bond. $233,500 was precinct 3 and 4 road materials. We had $224,000 of ground load capital murder expenditures. We paid annual software support for the various offices that we had budgeted at $174,500. Healthcare was, for the inmates, was $100,000. Jail upgrade to Area C, I call it POD, because it was the repairs you all approved during budget time. You had those doors and the locks and all, the mechanisms fixed, was like $106,000.
That's the last of the phases. Remember, we did each phase.
Yeah, this is the last part of
Of the door locks and all that, yes.
We did each one of those phases at a different time during the budget, because they're usually over $100,000.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive. I'm glad we got it all done.
Well, now we got DVR and cameras coming up, so it's always something.
Yes, sir, I just wanted y'all to be able to view them, because those weren't sent on the listing.
Okay, do we have any questions about any of the bills? Anybody?
Oh, I do, I think I have the answer to this, on the big packet, the libraries and things, that are once a year thing.
What now?
The libraries, the
Payments
things,
to the
once a
different
year
libraries.
things.
Yes, we have those in the budget, yes, sir.
Okay.
My only question is somebody signed off on every bill that you have put on here, every receipt of every product that was ordered? It's been verified by someone.
Yes, well, most of those are done like that. If it's utilities, we don't have anybody sign off on
Yeah,
it.
but I mean, every one of these other bills, you have verified that we received the product, or someone, the department head, has verified it and signed off on it.
Yes, sir. And most of them have POs attached to them also.
Can I make a suggestion on the utility bills? Why don't we have Bobby start approving those? And the reason I say that, he would be able to look and do a comparison, like if you got a water bill that was unusually high, 1 month, the next, it might be we've got a leak or something like that.
I get a copy, they pay it, send us a copy, and we compare what we did out there. It's real easy for us.
But it's not just for the jail, it's
Yeah.
the other insurance. I know we have a water leak out here.
At the Veterans Memorial Park, yes.
Sprinkler system on that, that'll leak.
Yeah, and that's what I say, that's how we call it.
Yeah, but it might be good if Bobby, now that he's, he's more familiar with what all we have, he probably would be good to look at.
We can submit him copies. I can't hold the utility bills because that was the problem. We were getting them back too late to get them paid in time.
Well, I think it's just, I'm sure he'll run by and look at them, so.
Okay.
That just kind of.
Or at least get him a copy of them.
Yeah, that'd be a.
I'd send him a copy just so he can track it.
We just got your all out, so it's a pretty good thing to have, see how things are running.
Okay.
I've been looking at them, right, I mean, I'll pull them up.
Great job.
We need to recognize him.
He's done a good job, and I think, at least it's not in here, but I think they're looking at sending out a proposal for cleaning, all the satellite facilities.
I don't know about my home weekend here one day, everything was in a mess, and so my horse didn't think that.
Yeah, I think they're talking about it, where they are on that. Any other questions on the bills, Pam?
Got one on page 4 on general fund, it says SHID Partners Limited, and they got, look like they do something for $61.25.
On page 4
Got a big bill.
of the big packet.
It's got the church fund. What is it, Shiv or Shiv or Partners? Just seems something new.
Page 4 of that one. SHID Partner Radio Conference.
661, what is it? 61? Well, that's per diem.
No, that's not for them, that's for the registration.
I have to look at the, take a look at it. Yeah, he's talking about 661. Yeah, it's a conference. I just don't know which one it is. Women's and criminal justice.
No, that's wrong vendor. Yeah, 11090, it's, yeah, DPS for their hotel.
Yes, this is where we sending our guys to the commercial motor vehicle DTS and all.
So do we have two commercial guys, commercial vehicle inspection guys now?
We've got one trying to get one certified. But they only have the offices. I mean,
Yeah,
still
this
there
is,
so long.
this is, the rooms for 2 people.
Did we have to? Didn't we have to?
We did have two, one left.
Well, I thought he came back.
Now he come back, but
You gotta get something.
we've already approved somebody to take that spot, doing promotional stuff. Now we're sending this guy, getting him trained, this guy's now transport.
So we have a commercial vehicle.
So we have three now.
No, we don't have,
We will, we send him, I mean, we have.
well, you gotta be certified every so often, so
So the guy that left, is his certification expired?
I'm not sure, I have to look and see.
He couldn't fill the slot until,
It was already filled. He's been doing and training and learning the whole process. Now he's going to the school.
what will it take to get these guys out there to stop these trash trucks? From my observation, they have given one trash truck ticket since they've been here, since in the last 2 years.
I've never been asked that, but I bet I can find out.
Well, I called them and requested them, and I've given them schedules of these trucks. And they do not have the ability to be stealthy enough to catch 80,000-pound, 40-foot long blue trash truck.
I see you say, I thought that, I mean, it ought to be pretty easy. My
Yes,
days on the street, it
I've given
really,
them schedules for their route.
if you'll forward me that schedule, I'll take care of it. Okay. I don't have a problem.
All they have to do is sit around the county, they can see them.
I know when I drive around town, I can see trash trucks everywhere.
And that's where we talk about trying to do something to keep just that one, serve precinct or something.
I still say the biggest pressure is like the bill. Because we have no way to feel, I don't think the state allows us to do it. Because the city automatically, what was in the city limits.
Oh, that, yeah, yeah, I got it all.
We have trash. We're here to get it.
That's probably his, reimbursement, and all. Let me check it, make sure that.
Back in one word, but you can't get all
Well, you got a lot of water.
What packet it's in, Commissioner?
All these bugs and all.
Remember what page it was on?
Two.
He just controls that whole thing.
Aaron didn't come on.
I've been sitting over here with some.
I ran my truck one month.
Say, I thought it felt pretty good.
It's all
Well, all right.
You got to play freeze out over here.
Yeah.
All right, y'all need anything else? I'm fixing, I got plenty of work to do. Okay. Thank y'all.
And that becomes more urgent when it's lunchtime.
I don't know what
Have a good day.
It keeps you from being so hungry. All we gotta do is give Steve a list up there and do it.
Now we're looking at something on.
Oh, we still looking up to 660.
No, she cut that aside.
No, I was asking about that Judge Chitty, $1,631 for travel.
That was airfare, hotel, motel, and per diems, and airport.
Was that going to a conference?
It was a conference in Santa Fe.
Man, why not Vegas? Okay.
Well, Commissioner, is this something?
They keep posting text. Let's go.
I'm on right. I want to call out and not go.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions on the bills? All right, I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion from Commissioner Allen, second from Commissioner Phillips. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion from Commissioner Allen, second from
All of us.
You can go to
Jimmy.
I'll say.
All right, Skeet. Phillips seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.